Ooh, and we're live. Hey, Lola.
Hello.
You want to bring us into the show, and then I will hit the intro.
Welcome to Geekgasm. It is ladies' night for the first time since the show started. Oh my god.
This is awesome.
We'll be right back to introduce everybody.
And we're back.
We've got a full house of girls tonight. I'm really excited because, like Lola said, this is the first time that that's happened. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go around the room here. Lola, you want to start? And we're just going to go like counterclockwise. We'll go to Lisa and then Trish, Cara, Daphne. And
Sure. However you want to do it. You're controlling the board tonight, so.
All right. So let's see here. Let's put Lisa up here on the big screen. Go ahead, girl. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Lisa Melone. I am with Melone Management. I do marketing and consulting for indie creators who are looking to kickstart or fund their projects through crowdfunding. I do free initial consults, so reach out to me on my Facebook page under Melone Management, or you can find me on my personal page under Lisa Melone, Melone.
All right. And Trish, let's get you up on the big screen here.
Hi,
Super fan.
Super fan. Love everybody in the room. Just love buying stuff and being out there in the indie community. So that's all I got.
All right. And Cara Nicole.
Oh, that's me. Hi. I am Cara Nicole, and I am the co-creator of Firebitch. And I am a cosplayer and a colorist and a writer and a stand-up comedian and a singer. And so we've got Firebitch currently in Kickstarter right now, and that is coming with our album to go with the book.
Awesome.
Hi. I was about to say, so Cara, it's like, I think it would be easier if you listed what you didn't do.
Yeah.
So much stuff. Hi. Yeah. Hi, my name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist out of New York. I've been self-publishing comics since 1997, and I am known for the funny animal fantasy comic Tall Tales and my medieval drama Egoraven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is also on Kickstarter right now. And you can read both my comics at talltalesonline.com, that's TAILS, and egoworks.com, that's EGOWORKS.com. And you can watch my videos on how I make these comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art.
All right. Hey, guys. I'm Meredith Loughran. I am the associate editor over at Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast. I have also got a Kickstarter happening right now. It is the Compendium of Dread, an anthology of dark fiction. It is not comic books. However, the crowdfund is to support the art that is going to turn those stories into scripts, into comic books. And so I'm really excited about that project. I am also one of the founding five of Terraform Comics, and we've got a lot of stuff that is going to be happening very soon. Announcements are pending. Make sure you get over to terraformcomics.com. And if you want to follow me, go to linktree.com/MEREJ99, like my username here. And we're going to put Miss Lola on the screen here so that she can tell people about her shoe cam and where they can tip her, and let's get this show on the road. Miss Lola.
Yeah, I'm Lola. I'm the indie princess. I am the host of Geekgasm along with Meredith. She kind of helps me out all the time. Let's see, co-owner of Last Call Comics with my husband, and I got a lovely shoe cam that is presented by IndieCron, which you guys should go check out.
Ooh.
And if you want to tip me, go to streamlabs.com/indievault/tips.
And look who we've got popping in here. We've got Ms. Nita Lanning. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Nita Lanning, and I write shit, and I have some stuff pending in the near future with Meredith, and that's about it. I'm just Nita.
Just Nita.
So you're
Oh my
you're moving from live stream to another because you were just on in the comments section on mine.
I forgot to add Daphne into the hosting. It's me, Meredith, and Daphne that host the show.
Oh, I'm
sorry,
a co-host to the
Daphne.
co-host. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
Well, Daphne, you are pretty busy because I see you on Sunday Funnies with Randy Zimmerman. I see you on Livewire every once in a while, Geekgasm too, plus your own shows. It's like, oh my gosh, girl, when do you have time to create? Because I know,
well,
She
you know,
loves
you
being
gotta.
on Indie Volt.
Yeah,
Indie
exactly.
Volt Network.
I do.
That's the place to be.
Yeah, exactly. So all the cool kids hang out. You know.
Yep.
Okay, so let me
We
see.
got a lot of comments.
We're gonna pull up a few over here. Mike says hello to Trish, and Pops Fan says, "Holy crap, ladies everywhere!" And Edwin, the Ace launches January 31st. Acevedo, hail peeps,
Hail, Edwin.
hail. Alfred Page, Alice Peng should be on this. You know what? Geekgasm, we're going to try and keep the guys out of here. So we're looking for more ladies to take these seats with us.
I've been having a lot of trouble getting females on here. So if you guys know anybody, any female that wants to come on the show, please get them in contact with me.
Well, you know what? Let me just put that comment down here, Lola. Give them an idea of what you want this show to be and the direction that you'd like to take it in.
I would like to take it where it's all females talking about comics. I want it to be a show where we talk about the industry, about comics that we're funding, creating, just from the female perspective. I want to give it a little different. Most shows are just about the guys talking about comics and everything, and females are important too. We need to have a voice and say.
Absolutely. So taking over the airwaves.
Trying to.
All right. And then Pop says, Trish and Mike are super backers. They indeed are. And we love, even if you're a super fan or a super back or whatever the case might be, we definitely want you on the show because without your feedback and without your support, we wouldn't be, as Cara was saying before we got on live, we wouldn't be where we are without you. And then Pop says, where's the lemonade?
I got Rockstar and Mountain Dew.
Red Bull.
I'd like to be throwing a little whiskey in my own coffee, but hey.
I got some Crown Royal on the side of me.
And Mike James says, Firebitch too. And he is really busy putting up links here. We appreciate that. We're going to talk about Firebitch in a bit. Compendium of Dread is my link. Variant Grant says, I am not on the show. I was too... now know what it's like to be removed by force today. And Pop says, hello, Nita. And Denny says, oh, wow, Cara Nicole is here. Awesome. Cara Nicole is everywhere because you are killing it.
She will be on the Breakfast Buzz tomorrow, too.
Holy cow. So let's talk Firebitch for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what the heck is going on? You are on fire. I want to know what the secret sauce is.
Okay, so first of all, I love that I'm here with all the ladies. And I feel like there's not enough women that I'm able to reach out to. And this book is about us. Now, it's taking it to the extreme, of course. But like we've got Indie Princess over here with her tips and her shoe cam. And like you are like the embodiment of Firebitch. Okay.
Awesome.
So Firebitch is the story of Chastity Chase, who is a social media diva, which that music video will be coming out to backers tonight or tomorrow. And she is a girl who works off of tips from her online endeavors, like her Patreon and her OnlyFans and all these kinds of things. And this is how she funds her life and lives her life, is all online in these interactions with people. And of course, I'm going to make her a little ridiculous because, and I thought I was making her a little ridiculous. Then I was talking to some of these girls and it's like, wow, y'all are bitches. You know, not y'all, but you know what I mean? Like some of these girls are real entitled. And so I really wanted that with her. I wanted her to have that very selfish kind of, and she gets accidentally thrown across the galaxy lands on an alien planet and gets superpowers. And one of those powers is fire. So she can fly. She's got some super strength. She's got some super healing. And she has fire powers. But what happens in all these comics? These women suddenly magically know how to fight. Like, come on. If one of us were to just magically happen to end up in this situation, how good would we be able to fight?
I don't know.
I can barely walk up the stairs without pain.
Well, when you're trying to learn how to manipulate these new powers, and you've got this extra strength, like you don't know what kind of strength it takes to lift something up until you're actually trying to do it. So trying to manipulate these new powers and trying not to break a nail, these are important things. And this world that she's on is under attack by a neighboring alien race. And these people are not fighters. So that's why she's there, but it wasn't supposed to be her. She was there by accident. So they had this warrior in mind and ended up with this, this girl who has these powers now, and they need to convince her to save their planet.
I have to say, I've only had like super strength when the adrenaline's flow, really pumping, and like I feel like I could lift cars. I don't know. Have you guys ever been like that angry?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's like, I am powerful. I will throw a car. It's so funny. That's so cool though. Like, because you are really empowering women. But, I kind of want to ask a hard question here, because a lot of people might push back because they see the breasts, they see the shapely figure and the really beautiful woman out there. And they're like, well, how is this empowering women?
Because it's a woman and she's doing that. it's like
oh, here we go.
Like, do we go after men when they have their junk in their hands all the time?
Yeah,
like,
really.
Their hands never leave their friggin' pants. Like, how much do you need to adjust that shit?
So, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, why is that a double standard, I wonder?
Because people are stupid. They are, and I think a lot of it comes from women. Because it's interesting. People say, well, men, blah, 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 blah. If you look at the history of Playboy, you look at the history of boudoir and all of that, men have never decided any of that. It was us. We decided that shaving all your hair down there needed to happen. Men didn't care, because there was a time when they were into the full bush. As long as they're looking at your vagina, they don't give a shit what else is down there. You can store your wallet in there and they don't care as long as they can see it. So, it's us. We decide. Do you think a man looks at you and says, your eyebrows would look better if they were shaped like this? No, they don't give a shit. They don't even know if we have eyebrows. It's us. We do this to ourselves. We do this to each other. I had a woman once come up to me, and she was in this incredible cosplay. She was glorious. And she looked at me snidely and snubbed her nose at me and said, you know what? One day, you might get fat.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, so?
I'll still be hot.
Right? Like, let me tell you where ugly comes from. Ugly is on the inside. Mm-hmm. I can look at people and I determine whether or not they are ugly or attractive based on who they are. Because that's where it is. You know what I mean? So if you notice, there are women of all shapes and sizes and colors and everything. And they got men. Because this is where it is. It's inside of you. And if you're a bitch, that radiates. That's what comes out. So when she said that to me, I was like confused. It took me a while to comprehend this idea. So what if I get fat? Like, what does that mean? Are you trying to like shame me with this? Are you trying to like, what happens when you get fat? Your tits get bigger.
What up?
Your boobs get bigger. And if you're lucky, some of that goes down to your booty too. Tell me where the problem is here.
No, serious.
Right.
And just for a little bit of house cleaning, because if more than one person talks, then a lot of times it cancels out the noise. So if anybody wants to say anything, just kind of raise your hand or draw our attention and stuff like that, because we want everybody to have a voice and be heard. So. And that is your house cleaning tip of the day. So we're just kind of
right, because I wanted yeah. No, because I just wanted to pretty much add to that it's like, because every time I've gotten harassed for my artwork, it's
tell them what it is.
furry porn. I do.
Yeah, send me that link.
Actually, you see that's a whole other issue too, because that was something that I had wanted to ask you. That it's like, so when you were putting your campaign together, did you actually kind of like sit down and think about like the type of reaction that you would be getting from this work, like even the title Firebitch? Because it's like every time I try to put like I had a porn Patreon suspended because someone at Patreon thought it was too porny. Mm-hmm. I've been finished ever since. So it's like, so every time I try to contemplate, like a couple of months ago, I did an adult sketchbook, and the entire time I was paranoid as crazy. So I'm kind of wondering if you had like this same thought process, like, were you concerned about like a reaction, whether you would get like, whether platforms would give you a problem over this, or?
No, not at all. I've been doing campaigns. I have like over 10 campaigns, and I did some calendars, and I did some photo books, some cosplay photo books for years before we put out Firebitch. And Firebitch is something that's been like on our burner, Alfred and I, our burner for a few years. And so I guess it didn't really hit me like that. I'm also one of those people that just goes and does stuff and then regrets it later or thinks about it later.
Okay. Yeah. I think about it too much beforehand. Maybe that's what the issue is.
Well, now Lisa can jump in on this one too. Right. When we put out last summer, we put out Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. And that was our my like confessional / pinup book. And Lisa worked with me on that one, and she did my editing, and she did some writing in there. And I was starting to get concerned, what would people think of me now that they know these things? So if they're seeing, reading these things about me, are they going to now judge me? Because I put out some true stories, like the time that I barfed out it in the loading docks at C2E2, things like that, like that. You wonder, like, are people going to judge you harshly because they kind of put you on this pedestal and it takes away your humanity? Mm-hmm. So that was my concern. But you drawing what you're drawing, I think that one of the things that I've been trying to get with a group of women and discuss is being a publisher or a creator of adult material. I think being a woman is very different, because my husband, nobody ever goes to him and says, "Oh, are you DTF? Oh, if I'd known that you wrote this kind of stuff, that maybe
for real."
Nobody ever does that, but I bet you get it all the time, don't you?
Yeah, it was a drag, that's for sure.
I'm actually starting up my own publishing company for adult material. Outside of Last Call Comics, I'll be doing my own publishing company for adult material, because I'm working on putting out adult books myself right now.
That's cool. Well, cool. I'm in, so.
See, and actually, Nita and I, we were challenging each other to say, hey, let's kind of do 4 pages of like an erotica, because I write erotica prose. I've never done it in comic book form before, and I was just like, well, why wouldn't we?
Right.
I mean, we already have the equipment. We know what we're talking about. So I'm hoping that it kind of brings a sense of reality in a way with the fantasy, whereas I think I don't want to shit talk the guys or anything like that. I mean, they have great imaginations, and when
Some
they
of them.
really try and get into the female psyche and stuff, some men really do a very good job. Others do not.
My husband questions me all the time. I'm his model. I get questions. I get, what about this? How would you feel about this? Would you wear this? How would you act when this happened? Model in this pose for me. So, yeah.
Yeah. And my husband gets very nervous when I say, "Hey, you want to do some research?" He kind of blushes and runs away.
So Meredith, are you looking for submissions for like 4 pages for an erotic novel from women?
I am looking for
that out there.
all kinds of stuff that's out there. Yes, definitely.
So
And,
I actually
and that's for a project that might be coming up later. So I don't know. Indie Princess and we might be like,
there's
yeah,
room for everybody.
We love each other, and yeah, exactly. There's room for everybody.
So you're gonna be helping me out on my crowdfunding. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be
absolutely.
my first book.
That's the wonderful thing about networking and stuff like that, is being able to get the talent from a whole pool of people who really want to lift you up and help you out and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not catty. I mean, it could be, but I try
There's
to
enough
distance
of that.
myself from that. Yeah. And we've got a couple of questions here that was loaded up, but Varian, announcer guy, if you are in the back room somewhere, I don't know if you want to tell us if he wants to chime in and tell us what our numbers might be, but I'll pop the first question up here.
All right, I'll get.
Okay. I'm a new dad, and I have to admit I'm finding it harder and harder to justify the sexualized female comic art and statues I have around my home, with her quickly coming of age and starting to have questions. How do you ladies deal with that as workers in the industry, and how do you explain it to your kids if you have them? And that is from Steven.
I'll start.
Yeah.
I mean, I have boobs. My son has boobs every day. I have a gland problem, so my boobs will not stop growing. So no matter what shirt I wear, it's gonna stretch the shirt and show my boobs.
Mm-hmm.
My son's used to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he plays video games with us. You know how the females are dressed in video games.
Mm-hmm.
We have statues everywhere. It's like nothing to him because he grew up with it.
Right.
He doesn't ask questions. He knows the parts, and that's it for now. Now, when we have to have the birds and the bees talk, that's another
ball game.
Now, Trish, you had your hand up.
So, like for us, we've had the artwork around, and the girls, it's not naked, when they were little. Now they're in their 20s, but we told them that that's a penis, that's your boobs, that's a vagina, that those are the lady parts, and we explained it to them, accordingly to age and what they could handle and stuff like that. We never sheltered our girls at all from that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just be honest with your kid, and don't hide it. Hey, you're curious? Ask questions, because that's what kids do. If you want to, teach them right. Don't be like, shame, and then they grow up being, a shamed adult, and then feeling bad. Oh God, I'm looking at boobs now. And yeah, just be honest with your kid, and do it accordingly to their age.
Mm-hmm. That's what we did.
Lisa, Cara?
So I relate this to I was at a church event, and someone had asked, how do you get your kids to eat their vegetables? And my answer was, stop hiding it, because everyone keeps, I put it inside of the, stop fucking hiding it, because you're going to make it taboo. You're going to make it weird. Just leave it alone. Let it be normal. Your kid's going to grow up and she's going to have boobs, and you can either raise her to be confident and comfortable in that, or when she starts to develop, she's going to hide herself, She's going to slouch. She's going to hunch over. She's going to be ashamed.
That's what I used to do when I was growing up.
But it's going to make her a target. And I've seen this happen to a lot of cosplayers. Well, I covered myself up and then they came and started teasing me. And you know what? I walk out there with my boob window out, standing up, and nobody fucks with me. So if you are confident and you raise that child to be a confident woman, then she will not be attacked. There are people that won't even talk to me because they're intimidated by me. And it's like, really? I don't think I'm intimidating, but you know, you're all confident women. So I think you can understand, but when you have a woman who is afraid, she is a target. Yeah. She is a target for those men who come and, you know, abuse and harass and send pictures and threaten and guilt. Guilt is the one thing that I think that men don't really understand as a thing. When they want an explanation, we always feel like we have to give it. Why do you do this? Why can't I know about your boobs? Why can't I know about these things? Why can't I take pictures of you like this? That guy took a picture of you like that. Yeah, I also got a pap smear once. It doesn't mean I'm going to let you give me an exam on the Comic-Con table, you know? So raise her to be confident and know what these things are. Don't hide it. Don't shame it.
Yep. I also want to add we are TVMADLSV.
Just in case if anyone didn't notice by now.
We are what?
DLSV.
TVMA.
Oh, TVMA. Yeah.
Did you have your hand up, Lisa? Did you have anything to say?
I was going to just say, to echo on what Cara said, that, you know, raising a strong, confident woman and to be comfortable with the body that they have, no matter what they look like, is really important. And I personally don't have my own children, but I have stepchildren. And I remember going through the age where they hit puberty and, you know, they just didn't understand, you know, I'm getting teased at school and stuff like that. So just giving them the tools to let them know that they're okay and that everything is normal. And again, to explain the parts, I have art hanging up now because my oldest is 16 and the youngest is 12 and they know about sex. I don't hide it, but I don't have blatant erotic art on my wall, but I have boobs, you know, and they have boobs too. There is absolutely no reason why they should be ashamed of it, you know, whether it's on my wall or they're themselves.
Mm-hmm. Nita, how about you? Any thoughts on that? Because you've got young ones, and you've got comics of all sorts in there, and I mean from violence to boobs and stuff. You know, it's.
Oh yeah.
I think it's Go ahead with any thoughts.
Just nudity, I'm okay with them seeing. It is getting to where the boys make it a little awkward sometimes, so we kind of toning it down a bit. But as far as the girls go, my oldest, she sees pretty much everything. I mean, unless you're talking like full on sex, but as far as nudity is concerned, no. It's not really hidden now. My writing and stuff, and I have drawers and things that they don't go in, you know. But
oh yeah,
Daphne.
Well, I guess I can only really talk about like how I was raised. Although I do have to admit, the most awkward situation that I accidentally put myself in was trying to explain my hentai collection to my mother. Like I was raised a lot in Europe and Brazil, so I guess it's like there's certain things that we grew up with that were kind of like normalized at a very young age. I mean, it's like in Europe, especially like kids drink wine. They don't try to hide that. It's like, you know, they give the little kid a little wine and, you know, and yeah, that's what it is. Like we grew up with it not being a big deal. And it's like in my context, like I grew up with a lot of, like going to museums. I mean, and seeing the artwork there, and understanding the history of this type of art, and applying that context to the weird comics that my uncles would read. And and it's like, and just and just being like like exposed to like, oh, this is a Playboy magazine, and it's like, oh, you can actually read the articles, and it's not just like it wasn't it's like I wasn't taught that anything was shameful, so that's so it's like, it's kind of like yeah, it was just like very normalized, and you learned everything, and and it wasn't about you had to hide or anything. It's like, this is art, it's not, and it's like, yeah, it's like, and some artwork can get weird, but again, it's like, if you have that context already, where it fits. So yeah, like, it's like,
I was the opposite growing up. I was shamed for my boobs.
Right,
Fifth grade, I was at a D already. So I was always wearing sports bras, trying to cover them up. I would get made fun of. When my dad was still in the picture, didn't know anything about that. Anything. My mom was very open once my dad left.
Right.
Like everything became normal, and I could go to her about anything.
Right. But it's just normalizing it and just explaining it, and honestly, like, I mean, okay, if I guess don't apologize for it, I guess, because I mean, it's like, so you have like an Olivia painting, or you have one of those Bishonen statues, and it's like, you don't want to make a fuss over it. You just want to explain this, like, well, these are stylistic differences, and it's like, it's not a reflection on people. It's just style, and some people prefer those styles, and yeah, and just explain the art like that. I mean, like I said, when I was cleaning out my office and my mom was picking up, my weirdo hentai books, it's like, no, please don't make me explain.
It's like, oh my gosh, Ma, please.
Don't do that. So
you think you're good, and then there's hentai.
You're right, exactly.
Now, Varian is underneath here. I don't know if he wants to pop in here and let us know what our numbers are right now.
But he told me he sent them to you.
Oh, did he?
But he just put a comment up too.
Well, let's see here. Lola's breasts have caused me unrest, unease, and having to fight for social purposes. Lust, but don't touch.
Right, but that's also another thing too. I mean, it's like people can appreciate paintings without having to lick them. So, so
I've been sent
admire.
I've been sent pictures of myself with a guy.
What, like superimposed next to you or something?
No, I don't know how to put it.
Outfit.
Varian will say.
He jacked off onto the picture.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
literally
every day
I look at my social medias and I have at least 5 to 6 dick pics.
Nice. I never understood that.
I show them to my husband.
Like what's the expectation on that? It's like, are we supposed to rate them?
Oh, you're just gonna jump in there and
right? Yeah. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this information?
Well, I don't understand the ones where they ask if you'll have sex with them. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, how does this even work? Like, are you coming to my country? Are you paying me? What are you offering here? Or did you just want to jack off yourself and pretend you're like, it's still your hand, bro.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I just had a guy ask me what would I do for $1.
Oh,
sit there and show your shoes.
Smile. So Troy Donald Gardner here says, it's funny how most of society will accept a head getting cut off, but topless scenes will having them wanting to take a book off the shelf or a show canceled.
Well, look at it like this. It was a titty that destroyed Janet Jackson's career. So
yeah. And that wasn't even like on purpose. It wasn't like she was like, rah, it was just
I mean, the head of CBS made it his mission, and that was it. Meanwhile, Justin Timberlake got to live his life, like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm. And then Mike James says, our grown daughters stay out of the drawers by our bed because I told them they are filled with Trish's sex toys. Woo, woo. This may not be completely truthful, but it makes me laugh. It would make me laugh too. Hey, if it keeps the kids out of the drawers, or curious, and then they start asking questions. Mike, I don't know.
See, I'm so honest with my daughters, and my daughters are, mind you, are in their 20s. So I'm like, hey, I'm going over to the sex store. Do you need something? Are you guys good? And they're like, no, Mom, we're good. But I'm like,
we're good.
You need condoms, you need some lube, you need extra gloves. Just I'm an open mom like that.
There was a time. Well, see, now the way I grew up was more with like alcohol was the accepted thing. If we wanted it during dinner or it was a special occasion, and Dad brought home those little nips, and the kids had a beer or a glass of wine or whatever. So by the time I hit 21, it wasn't a mystery. I was like the more responsible one because everybody else was like, woohoo, going wild and puking and stuff like that, and I was just like, all right, you guys, settle down.
Right, exactly.
Like the old lady.
Right. And especially like during the 70s, I mean, like the big thing that was going on was like these little sexy novelties. Like you ever see like the toothbrush that has like the lady body and it's like the pens and the pens that would undress. It has the sexy lady on it and you turned it and the bathing suit would disappear. So it's like this was the stuff that was coming in and out of my house.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather had a tattoo because he was an old Navy man, from World War II. He had a tattoo of a naked lady on his forearm, and it was just like it was one of those things. Like, what? Right. Why is Grandpa always wearing long sleeve shirts? It's like you don't want to know. It's like actually, I do.
So I have a weird question because like maybe it's just me and my sister-in-law. Do y'all go over, like, seriously, she's my best friend. So we actually do go to the porn store together and we're like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Well, I think I'm going to buy this one and try this one. Do you have a lady friend you do that with?
Yes.
It's going to sound funny, but me and my mom used to go to the sex store together.
No, that's quality time. Doesn't sound
right.
funny. I just want to make sure there was other women out there that went with other women to like
my best friend. I've done it with my best friend too. We go to the store together, pick out matching outfits.
I was going to say it's been a long ass time since I've actually been in a sex store, like lingerie and toys and stuff like that. But I have no problem buying stuff online and sending them to my friends. Most of the time, I take a Sharpie and I draw a smiley face on it because I'm being a smartass.
we had.
I'm going to send you something, Meredith.
For the longest time, I have to say, because I don't know if it still bothers my husband, but for the longest time, I had this sitting in my background.
The cactus dick.
And Rob Anderson is the only one who was like, he zoomed in on the picture and he was like, Meredith, he's like, that looks strangely like
it looks like a cactus.
It looks strangely like a vibrator. And I said, why, Rob? It in fact is.
And it's a vibrator designed by H.R. Geiger.
And I'm like, I don't understand the whole cactus thing. I mean, it's kind of pretty and stuff, but
scary.
Not what you want to do. Not the feeling that's supposed to invoke.
I live in Arizona. I've fallen into a cactus.
Ironically, that was drawn by a woman, and I was just like, what were you thinking? But I mean, it's a pretty picture. Okay. But yeah, it was kind of funny because when I pulled it out of the box, my husband's like,
"Oh, you have my sketchbook behind you too." So
I do.
They go together.
Varian says that the dildo should be called Little Prick.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Anthony here, we had skipped your question here. Yeah, my wife and I had that discussion and agree. When we have our kids, we're going to be more okay with nudity than heavy violence because the other way around seems odd to us.
Yeah, it's really weird, especially I should find the two covers that kind of caused me grief for a while. I did a cover for one of my issues where it runs on the gag of the short guy and the tall woman, and when they're hugging, it's that the head ends up in a place, where in the fun spot. And man, I got so much grief for that cover. It was just supposed to be just a really funny, like little, sexy cover. And I got so much grief for it that literally I had to stop taking it to shows because people all of a sudden thought because of that issue, I was drawing a porn comic. And it's like, no, if I was drawing a porn comic, you would know I was drawing a porn comic, but this isn't it. I mean, it's a fantasy comic. It was just a visual gag that I had just put on the cover. But meanwhile, I did a cover. The cover, like before that, was a character just completely like covered in gore and blood, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's so cool!" and this, that, and the other thing. And then they get to the next issue. It's like, "Is this porn? Are you trying to sell me porn?" And it's like, God, really?
I think you have a reputation.
I do actually.
Go ahead, Trish.
I love that you talked about that cover, and I think that that's a very interesting thing in our society that women have this idea that, oh, I have to have a man that's at least 6 foot tall. A lot of women are insecure about dating a man that is shorter than them. And men are very insecure about being shorter. Now, my husband is exactly my height. It looks different because we're different, like in different parts, but we are the same height. Except he's shaped more like a turtle and I'm shaped more like a giraffe. But we're the same height. But when I wear heels, I'm taller than him. Mm-hmm. And I love it. It's like, I feel very sexy, like being taller. I'm like, hi down there. Oh, look, you're down there. Bye-bye.
And that's the thing. Although the cover was played for laughs, the actual relationship that I was portraying in that cover is not. He's a short guy who's with a tall girl, and that's just what it was. But like I said, people just got really uptight about it, and it was just ridiculous.
My
but blood and gore was fine.
But you're even shorter than me. And I'm really short when I wear heels.
Go ahead,
Mike reminded me when we went to Dallas and how like we went to the fan expo, okay, and they had like this tent in this area that was kind of closed off and only if you were 18, and they made it seem shameful that it was the naughty comics. And you know what I mean? And he was like, and the girls, they were old enough, they could have went in there, but they're like, Mom, what's in there? Because they're like, you can only be 18. They're like, Mom, go. And I'm like, it's nudie comics. And they're like, yeah, but the way that it is, they're like checking your ID and they're like, you better check it, and it made the girls feel really insecure. And that's a comic book con that was making my girls feel insecure about going in there to go look at nudie comics or whatever they were. And I'm like, just pointing out, I'm like, even our own people were ostracizing us in a way.
Yeah, I've been to conventions like that where it's like there was a separate section for the adult stuff, and they treated it like, oh, that's the seedy subsection,
Yeah.
And it was just like really weird. Like, okay, I mean, it's like, and mind you, these were conventions where it was mostly adults anyway, so. It was just, I don't know. It's like what it is, like venues got uptight and they tried to make these concessions. And like I said, when the whole thing with me and Patreon happened, after I got my account reinstated, the first thing I did was leave because I just got like, okay, you know what? I'm now on someone's radar. And I don't know. And usually with a lot of these platforms, their terms of service when it comes to adult material is so vague that you don't know what's going to trigger it. So once I ended up on someone's radar for my artwork, it's like, okay, now I don't feel safe on here anymore, which is why it's like, to see something like Firebitch and then not being afraid of that. I'm like, really? You can do that?
Well, I'm going to pop in here right now and say thank you to the Indie Vault radio listeners. We are up to 38,644. So thank you very much for tuning in. This show is usually slated for about an hour. We're almost at 45 minutes, and we've got like 3 questions to go. How are you guys as far as time?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Because if anybody has to go, leave a message in the private chat, and that way we can let you say your goodbyes. Otherwise, let's get to the second question here. This is from Diane. How do you handle it as a cosplayer or host of a show when fans ask to buy stuff that isn't necessarily offered for sale?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink.
Everything's for sale. I just sold a bra.
Yeah, everything's for sale.
I sold
Nobody
underwear.
wants my bras.
I sold bras, underwear, socks, stockings. I sold it all.
Make your coin, girl.
I agree.
The only thing I won't sell is my shoes.
Cara Nicole.
I agree. Everything's for sale. I've sold things off my wall. I've sold things out of the plastic sleeves. I've sold stuff that isn't released if it's like a mock-up or whatever. People are real weird. There are people who are interested in my clothes that they don't ask. There's people that have asked, but this is where they always fucking get you. So can I buy those pantyhose? Yes, you can. How much are they? And usually it's going to be around $100. And can I take them off you? You just fucking ruined it, didn't you?
Right. Yeah. You had to be, creepy about it. Yeah.
You had to be creepy about it. Be straight. If you are ballsy enough to ask that question, put what you want ahead of time, because I am seeing so many women get abused and taken advantage of, and it fucking blows. I'm watching these girls, and they're getting things like, oh, I bought everything for you off your wish list, and these girls will give them free videos, and then they'll cancel the order, and the girls get nothing. So they're doing these things for fake promises. And then here's the thing. Why you got to be such a bitch about it? How many of us have heard that?
Yeah.
Come on, lady.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much either.
No. They're rude to you.
Yeah.
They're shitty and rude. And then if you even respond in a way that they don't like, it's your fault now.
Right.
Or I knew you were just like the rest of them. You're just like them. And those are the kinds of things that they do to try to manipulate us into giving them what they want. And what we need to realize as women is that if they are trying to manipulate us, they are not good people. They do not have our best interest in mind. They are that creepy pedo in the white van saying, hey, you want some candy? Grabbing you by the face saying, don't scream, I won't hurt you, I promise. You already hurt me. So
yeah, I mean, it's like that boundary thing is really, because it's like, look, dude, I'm already drawing artwork for you that I know for a fact you're gonna jerk off to. Why do you have to take it a step further by making it creepy? All of a sudden they think that just because I can draw this artwork for them, that I'm interested in what they're asking.
Oh, I didn't know you were like that. If I'd have known like that when I was in your town.
Right. Yeah. That it's like that all of a sudden they want to show me, it's like, yeah, they want to show me their etchings,
I got a penis too.
And it's like, bro, this is a financial transaction. Calm down.
Yeah.
Now, see, as a buyer, I have asked Cara, I asked her the first time I saw her on the show, I'm like, are you selling what you're showing the pictures? She's like, no. And I just took it as face value of no, but you know what I mean? You have to wait for the Kickstarter. But, if there's something I see as a buyer, I'm going to be like, hey, can I buy that from you?
Now,
can I buy that from you?
Right.
But Trish, you're talking about the mock-ups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so normally I would sell them, but the thing is, these mock-ups were actually made with Jim Noble's insides.
Okay.
That's the only reason. And I would have to
I don't even know what to say about that.
It wasn't made by his
Did I hear that right?
Budweiser, he'd give it to me. I'm telling you that right now, for a Budweiser, he'd give me anything. I'd be like, Jim, I got a Budweiser. He'd be like, you can have it, Trish.
Well, I am not a Budweiser person. I'm more of a like a PBR. So I'm sure we could work something out with the beer out. He's actually looking at moving into like right down the street from me.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes up and everybody's like,
I'm kind of glad I'm not completely in that scene anymore, because there's some people that really had problem with boundaries for real. I mean, I still draw furry commissions, but it's on my terms. It's not like I'm at the conventions and I'm seeing these people face to face and they're like I said, they have boundary issues, and it's like, and they think that just because you're willing to do this type of intimate artwork, and putting it kindly, this type of intimate artwork, that it implies a certain relationship that it doesn't. Like, no, I don't want to hear about your kinks. I don't want to hear about your weekend. I don't want to see those photos. It's like, I mean, it's just, they think it's a bonding experience when it's like, no, it's goods and services. It's like, it's yeah.
Now, don't get us wrong. We do end up forming some really great relationships.
Right.
With fans. And I have met some of the most amazing, wonderful people, but I've also met quite a few grievers.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Chuck Pinot says Texas is a Puritan state. Chances are it was less the Khan's decision and more something forced by the city.
Usually.
Yeah, when it comes to those I guess the back rooms. What would you call those? What do you call those rooms?
What, the conference rooms at
the panel rooms?
Where they kind of segregate the adult stuff from, the over 18 stuff.
Back rooms.
The back rooms.
The red light district.
And Christopher says, Cara, remember the Salt Lake Comic Con lady?
No.
Coming to your booth before the show.
I don't. Because there's so many things, especially in Salt Lake. So explain that one to me, because there were so many issues with Salt Lake.
You have to narrow it down.
Yeah, right. Wow. All right. So any other comments before we go to question number 3? Because I have I can't read it when it's small like this. So I have no idea what's coming. We're good? All right. Let's pop this up here. Wait, Lola is married? Oh, my God. I just caught that. Damn. Dream deferred in my head canon. She's Randy's single niece who I was going to charm. And that is from Rob. Aw.
Sorry. Yes, I am married. I'm happily married. And no, I am not Randy's niece.
Well, okay, so that was not actually a question, but let's pop this up here. Hey, Ms. Nightmare. This is from Varian. Varian, you're not supposed to be here. What about this COD movie, right? I heard it's coming to IndieVolt TV soon.
He had to put a shameless plug in, I guess.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Compendium of Dread.
Compendium of Dread.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not gonna bring up my Kickstarter today because it's I'm really enjoying the conversation that we
have
here.
Another question that was put into the chat. Hold on.
There we go. Here. Okay, from the IndieVolt Radio on Google Play, as non-American men in my culture hold American women in high regard. We are told that they will do many things for monies that our ladies will not or should not do. And that is from Aki.
It's funny because I do get a lot of requests from foreign guys asking me to do things for them.
Don't the American guys think the same thing about
that's usually I mean, I just remember a story my mother told me about it was I think it was like, when she was younger, and she was talking about like I think it was like either in Spain or Italy, and they were, it's like, and all the guys all thought that Americans were so easy and they loved Americans, and and it's like, oh, it's like, it's like if you want a quickie, you have to find an American. And my mother just like rolled her eyes and she goes, no, those are the Germans.
I mean, I think it's from any guy.
Oh my goodness.
Any guy is going to try and get something from a woman that he sees as hot.
But
it doesn't matter where you're from.
I'm right here.
But it's interesting because you get different types of things from different parts of the world. There's some parts of the world where they will send the dick pics and they will flat out say, I fuck you. And then they'll send pictures. I think the craziest picture I got was a picture of a baby covered in money. I get a lot of babies and a lot of money and a lot of those pictures. And it's like, or I'll get passport pictures. Like, why are you sending me a picture of your passport? I had one guy years ago who was very interested in me because he said that he had a child with an American woman, and she told him that if he ever came here, that she was going to have him arrested for not paying child support. And it's like, well, that's not exactly how our shit works. But he wanted me to marry him so that he could come here and try to get his child. So I told him I was Canadian.
Yeah, it was more just for the green card, and there is no child.
Oh my
okay.
Right. 90-day fiance stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's.
But I don't get harassed just by guys, though. It's funny. I have women that harass me too and ask for things.
Talk about that. I want to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Some women email me or message me and ask if I'll take some pictures for them or send them things. Or will I take pictures for them if they buy me something off my wish list?
Do they send you pictures of their dicks?
The women?
Exactly.
No, but I have gotten pictures of boobs and vaginas.
Now, do you find that women are politer in conversation in regards to those things than men? Or do you think that women, because I think we're all guilty of this, we are a lot more comfortable with each other? I will be groped by a woman before I'm groped by a man.
Yeah. I've had my boobs squeezed so many times by women.
Unless it was like my husband or a boyfriend, it's only been like female family members because
that's like a grandma thing,
right? I think the Asian side doesn't have boobs, so they're like, these are real, and I'm like,
that's a grandma thing. Yeah,
I've had female friends grab my boobs, booth girls. So, but
they'll just walk up, and just start groping on you.
How's it going?
I guess it's the concept of safety.
Start going to cons like that. How's it going?
I guess it's the concept of safety that it's like, it's like, it's like we know it's. I mean, like I said, I'm mostly my grandmothers did that, but it's like, but I would think conceptually that it's just like, okay, it's like that's not a big deal because you don't expect it to escalate or you don't expect it to go anywhere. It's just almost like weird play that women do, as opposed to
sometimes
guys. It's like over there, please. just stay right there. Don't pass the yellow line. It's like Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a question here from Troy who says, is it really a way to approach a cosplayer if your intention is honorable?
Just go up to her like she's a person and you shouldn't have a problem.
Right. Hey, can I take a picture with you?
Right, exactly. It's like it's not it's not that complicated. It's like it's just, we're people, we're standing there. We're doing artwork for you. We're selling photographs, cosplay for you. Act appropriately. I mean, I don't understand why these guys think that there's like some kind of weirdness. It's like, no, you're the guys making it weird. Just act like normal.
Be professional. I mean, so my experience with let's say Geek Insider, going to the Comic Cons and stuff like that, I have like a bag full of business cards with my contact information on it, and I always ask permission if I can take a photo. I tell them where I'm from and where it might be shared, and I hand them a business card, and if they accept it, it's pretty much a yes, and that's it. Maybe it's because I'm a woman, I don't know, but I expect that from everybody. I don't want people just taking random shots necessarily of me. Talk to me first. Now, I mean, it's different if I'm just kind of going in the back, behind somebody else and just being stupid, but but when you're at an event like that, a lot of times people are there for networking. They're there to sell books. They are there to promote something, so whether you're in the entertainment industry, you approach people just like you would anybody else. I mean, just because you have a cosplay costume on, or if you are behind the table, it doesn't just automatically give you permission, period. Ask.
Okay, then you're going to hate me, Meredith, because I am such a fangirl when I go to cons and I'm like, and I'll be like, wait.
Okay, but Trish, they see you coming. They see you coming, okay?
Brace yourself, Trish is coming.
No, that's what it's like, because they do know us, because like we used to go to Chicago all the time and they'd be like, oh, there's Big Mike and there's Trish. They know.
I just ask, don't put your arm over our shoulders, not because it's like rude or whatever, but because your pit stains get on the corner of our
grab.
Do the Keanu Reeves hug, where it's like he kind of like hovers his hands around the waist.
It's like the hands
do that,
I don't mind the waist. I know some people do, but never over the shoulder.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That looked like a very young Varian.
It was.
Oh, Varian. This is a baby face.
I do want to answer Matt Campbell's question that he put into the comments.
Yes, let's put that up here again. Can you tell if it is a man pretending to be a woman?
When it comes to what I've experienced with messaging, yeah, because women have a different approach on how they ask what they want. Every woman I've talked to has been a woman.
Women will also either use a photo of themselves or family, with family, or they'll use a photo of an inanimate object like flowers or a butterfly or something. Whereas if it's a man pretending to be a woman, he'll pick like some super hot, over photoshopped, over edited model photo. And usually when they text you, like they message you in your DMs and stuff, they sound like a moron.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if this is
totally. Oh, go ahead, Daphne.
Oh no, because I don't know if this is related, but one of the games I like to play when I go on DeviantArt, an art gallery, online art gallery, is see if I can tell whether the artist is male or female just by looking at the artwork. So it's a hard game, but usually I'm pretty good at it. like you could tell like sexy drawings done by women, they have a different vibe to them than
they're actually sexy.
Well, it's like then the sexy drawings drawn by guys. Like there's usually like for some reason it's like women, the female women artists know how to draw sexy without going that slight overboard.
Women draw big boobs, men draw ginormous
boobs.
It's like there's this line that gets crossed. That's like, oh, that's a dude drawing that.
All my husband's women are based on me, so his boobs are huge.
Except for the one based on my mother.
Except for the one based on his mother, yes.
Her boobs are ginormous.
No.
Oh my goodness. And Varian, I can hear you in the background if you want to drop the Indie Vault numbers again for us to see where we are. We are at an hour and 4, you guys.
Did we answer all the questions?
I think we did.
Okay.
We had because we had 2 questions and then 2 comments. And
Yeah.
so if there is anybody else who has a question, drop it in quick. Otherwise, we're going to do a round table and say
And then, real
goodbye.
quick, Troy Donnell added more to his one statement he made in the comments.
Oh,
About being honorable.
that I would like to buy you lunch and want to get to know you. Do you think that
I
a
think you're
Comic-Con
creepy.
is the place to do that?
No.
I know Troy. I would absolutely go have lunch with Troy. Troy is a great guy. I know what he's trying to say. But on that, it's not, I don't think it's so much as it's about it being a Comic-Con. It's about if you're behind a table, people think that we get a lunch break. We don't get shit.
No.
We live behind that table. We work behind that table. And then afterwards to do drinks or whatever, you're exhausted. And oftentimes you have commissions.
And then
So-
you have the after parties if you want to go network with more people.
Right. And so there are after parties, and but I see where he's coming from, and I can tell you, he has very good intentions. He's a wonderful person.
Mhm.
So I get where he's coming from. But it's kind of like asking a waitress to have lunch with you while she's serving you the food.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just a weird situation altogether. That it's like, we're working, so we're in a different mindset. So
We also have other people we need to take care of.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
it's different because
yeah, go ahead.
it's different because he knew her or she knew him. Like
Yeah.
for any of us, it'd have been like, oh, who the fuck are you? What?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't love to be found at a Comic-Con and things like that. That it could happen, I mean, but there's that mutual attraction. But if you're like kind of being like the creepy stalker, it's just like I want to see her at her table.
Mouth breather.
No.
It's
No.
like read the room, type of thing. It's like,
Like what it came from the radio said, they do have speed dating at certain cons.
Mhm.
oh, but that's right. I mean,
So
which
you
is
can always go to that.
yeah.
Right.
Fine.
But okay, if you're gonna do speed dating, I did some research and I did some speed dating for like research purposes. And
What was
let me
that
tell you.
like?
So the company that I had done it with that was there was very good about protecting the women. Like they had codes. If someone is being inappropriate, this is what you do, so that no one knows that you're ratting them out. But what happened to me is that afterwards, people were coming up to me. Why didn't anybody pick me? That's why nobody picked you. Because
Right,
you sound like a whiny crybaby.
Right, exactly.
Nobody wants to date the guy. Why won't somebody go out with me? Why can't I get a girlfriend? Because you're a fucking whiner. That's why. Like, no offense, but you know what I'm saying? Stand up, have some confidence, you'll get a date.
And Jeffrey's
Well,
got a question for Daphne. Are you from the Midwest, a Midwest artist?
No, I'm firmly East Coast. I'm from New York.
And the Indie Vault radio numbers are 46,212.
Wow.
Thank you,
Wow,
everybody. who
thank
is tuning
you.
in. We appreciate every single one of you.
My wallet
And,
doesn't.
while we have your attention here, if you want to tip Lola, it keeps her in her fancy schmancy shoes and her shoe cam.
Well,
here.
and tip often.
Definitely.
I
Go to
also have a wish list
streamlabs.com.
on my Indie Princess Facebook. If you go to my Indie Princess Facebook, you'll scroll down a little bit, and on some of the posts, you'll see an Amazon wish list, and you can purchase the shoes there.
Yes. And then definitely head over to streamlabs.com/indievolt/tips, and you can give Lola a tip. You know why? Because servers cost money, and so does running.
Oh,
the show.
yes.
So make sure that you send a little bit of love.
That's just some of my shoes.
Yeah, I was Varian showed that to me earlier, and I said I don't think I've had that many shoes in my adult life.
I have to buy another shoe rack
I have
tomorrow.
2 pair.
I want this link to your wish list. I want to see your shoes.
They're hot.
Are we friends on Facebook,
Oh my
Cara?
God, shoes.
What?
Are we friends on Facebook?
No, I don't know. We need to be. I need to find you.
I definitely don't do shoes. I live in Florida for the last 6
Oh,
years,
man.
and I do like flip flops.
That's amazing.
But I have been looking at these platform boots. You know, they kind of go up to the
Let me see
knee.
if I can bring up my. I'm gonna see if I can bring up my
Platform
wish list real quick for you guys to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. That
No,
would be fun.
so
So
guys,
while
if
she's
you-
looking for that,
oh, sorry.
go ahead,
So
Trish.
guys, if you want to entertain any of these women's at these cons, I'll tell you what you do. You bring like a protein bar or something that will help their energy stay up, and just be like, "Hey, you need this," and I'm just trying to be a nice, and because I know
No,
you
not taking candy from strangers either.
Oh, wow.
It might have rupees in it.
I don't know. I think I would take a cup of coffee.
That I fixed myself.
Anthony
Okay.
Beauchamp says, with the rise of things like GoPros, is it ever weird when people have live streaming cams and they're talking to you, interacting with you? We'll get to that question, but let's kind of go through these shoes. Holy cow!
Wow, those are
Wow.
some, wow, yeah.
Some neck breakers.
How in the world?
Oh,
Wow,
wow.
look at that.
Walking those.
Wow. Look at that one. Looks like a rocking chair with the heart.
Wow.
Right there.
This is like women looking at porn.
So, yeah. I really want
those
these
boots.
ones,
love those
guys.
blue
Oh,
ones.
yeah, those are nice. Those are
I really
nice.
want those ones. So one of my fans buy these for me, please.
Right?
I want those for the indie when we do indie vote reviews and stuff at shows because it's got the lightning bolt on them and they're blue.
Wow,
They're
I'm thinking
just-
those
yeah,
boots,
right?
though.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
$90. That's my grocery bill money for the whole week.
That is my wish list, and you
Wow.
can find it on the
Wow.
Indie Princess Facebook.
Yeah.
So where was that question here? So from Anthony, with the rise of things like GoPro, whoops, we had an influx of comments here. Okay, is it ever weird when people have live streaming cams and they're talking to you, interacting with you?
No,
Like here?
probably
I
at
don't think it's weird
cons.
at all.
I'm gonna actually start wearing one when I go to cons. It's gonna be called the boob cam.
The boob cam.
I'm gonna put it right here.
And they're small enough too that it's like
Yeah.
people won't even
I have a
notice.
really small camera, and I'm gonna put it right here. So when I go to cons,
Right.
Tip.
Now, are you going to let people know that it's there?
they're gonna see it. It's like a little black square. They're gonna see it.
Well,
You should put a little bow on it. It'd be so cute.
The reason why I'm asking is because, like, for me, obviously, you know, I'm kind of dressed up. The boys are hidden. I call them the boys. You know,
I'll show you how I dress at cons. I'll find it. Give me a second. Go ahead, Meredith.
and I was gonna say, you know, like a lot of the times, I'm like, hey, my eyes are up here. You know?
Fair.
I hear Varian in the background.
I mean,
He's like,
what's funny is that I'm thinking a little bit more practical, but then again, I think it's a New York. I mean, what I'm thinking is a little probably more of a New York thing because, like, my concern is it's like, oh, it's like, are you going to, you know, like tell people that you have a camera so they can, like, you know that you're filming them maybe without their consent or something? You know,
Yeah,
is this a legal issue? Is this a legal issue?
I'll let them know, but it's gonna be the boob cam.
You're gonna have to
Yeah,
get your little
exactly.
sticker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my con pictures. Give me a second.
okay, so the next question then is, it came from the radio. I don't know if you addressed this before, but what are your thoughts on booth babes at conventions? Well, we've got a panel of ladies. Let's go around.
I hire them.
I love him. I can't live without him. Lisa has booth babed for me before, and it's just incredible.
You're very funny. Thank you, Cara. She booth babed for us.
And you ended up booth babing for me.
Yes, I did end up like kind of booth babing for her, but you know, I was hustling. But no, I actually think that having booth babes and having good booth babes are very key to interacting with the people and drawing people in. I mean, Cara was great when she did Lady Death for Cold War at C2E2 last last time. That was the very last round we had, right before all the Corona stuff happened. But it's hit or miss though too. There's a fine line between tasteful and over the top.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is where some brands are missing out on capitalizing on booth babes in the proper manner.
Mm-hmm. Daphne, Nita, Trish?
Well, it's like, because I personally don't have a problem with booth babes as long as they're at the booth they're actually supposed to be at. I remember a lot of conventions like when it kind of like hit its peak, where man, the booth babes got aggressive. Like they would walk, they would like interfere with other people's tables and people at other tables, and trying to, like, you have people at your table looking at your stuff and they will come up and try to steal them away, and it's like, no, that's not cool. I mean, it's like, so it's like, if you stay at your booth, where you belong, because you're promoting that item,
Right.
That's fine. And also the thing about tasteful, I know tasteful is relative, but I mean, you also don't want to make it awkward for people either, because I remember one artist who had his girlfriend dress up in a sling bikini at a convention. I mean, he was in the art now. And it was like the tiniest thing. And I got like secondhand embarrassment, just seeing this, because at one, it was like completely unnecessary, and it was just like, it's kind of like crosses that line where you're like going, dude, they're kids here. What are you doing?
Right.
It's like,
And I saw Karen make a face about that too.
Yeah, that's rough. And the thing is what people don't realize is, you may look good when you're in that sling bikini and you are standing perfectly straight and you are posing, but the minute you breathe, that's when that fucking camera's gonna go off. And that's the picture that's gonna go out. And that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. And that's why I'm always very cautious about what I wear, because I know when people are going to take those damn pictures. And they love putting out the worst pictures they can find, even if they love it. I think this is a great picture. But booth babes, I think that a lot of times male artists, they think, oh, I have a friend and she can dress up. No. All you're going to do is put your friend in a sexy, gorgeous costume, and she's going to take attention away from your stuff. You need someone that is a salesperson as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you like, and you can't do you can booth babe for me and I'll give you space at my table to sell your stuff, because then you know what they're doing? You're paying for them to sell their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to get a booth babe, you want to hire a professional who is a salesman, who is working for you with a clear guideline of the exchange rate. And what's going to happen? Is this person going to get a break? What time do they show up? What time can they leave? Can they sell their own stuff? Can they not sell their own stuff? It's better to hire someone and pay them or give them a trade, like you're going to get time off, you're going to get this, that. These are the hours I need you, because guess what? Saturday afternoon when it's busiest, that's when they're going to decide they're tired or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I've had that problem myself, where it's like, okay, you're here to help me. They get shit-faced Friday night and I'm stuck Saturday by myself. So you want to hire a professional that knows how to sell and do their job.
There's one picture of me.
Yeah, looking good.
Mm-hmm.
He's just showing pictures of me.
And I was going to say, for the radio listeners, you've got to head over to the YouTube channel and hit subscribe and watch the replay so that you can see those pictures of Lola.
Exactly. I do want to add one question to the booth babes. This is going to sound awful, but at last call we do hire them. But the problem is I tend to date some of them.
Oops. don't have like a policy against no dating the employees.
No.
And that's between you and Varian then.
I usually
No, Lola, no.
He says he doesn't complain, so.
Now, me and Mike are in the same mindset. I don't care who you have at your table, but at least to have some knowledge of what you're selling and
Right.
know
Right.
what's coming out. Like, oh, okay, well, I have what you have here. So what's next book coming out? At least some common knowledge. I don't
Right,
care.
yeah.
You're promoting 8 at the table. Well, okay, I have 8. When's 9 coming out? Just knowledge. I don't care if it's a bait boob, a desk jockey, whatever you want to call the people that dress up. That's fine and dandy, but just knowledge is all I want to know. Have them have. At least spend at least an hour going over your product with them instead of here, sell this, push this. At least like an hour or something to go over. I mean, unless you got a little 15 minutes out minimum.
We normally, a couple of days before the show, we have 2 all-day get-togethers where we go over the content, how they're supposed to dress, what outfit fittings. We set up an actual table and how it's going to look at the con so they can practice. So we do rehearsal and everything, and they have to read the books, get knowledge of them. We do all that.
The best booth babe experience I have ever seen was Jim Balent. And what he would do is that he would have his 10 by 10 booth and he had the tables surrounding him and he would sit in the center on a stool. And what he would do is that anybody who came to the table, you could get a free sketch.
Oh, wow.
From Jim Balent. But you had to stay there while he drew it. And while he was drawing it, he had his booth babe completely hustle you the entire time. So by the time he was done with the sketch, dude has bought like $50 worth of books.
Nice.
I mean, I was just standing back watching and I was mesmerized.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we are almost a half hour over.
Okay.
And I know that Lisa's got to get going as well. Yeah. So why don't we go around the room? And Daphne, I know that you've got a Kickstarter, and you've got time. I know that Cara Nicole, your Kickstarter ends in about 48 hours. So we wanted to make sure that was highlighted.
Yeah, well, that would be that's crunch time on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and Daphne, we will for next week. Let's make a date.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and
I want to be on a date.
No, you don't.
Who needs the voiceover when this is a lot funnier?
But we are definitely going to highlight some of the other Kickstarters and stuff again, because Cara Nicole, she's got Firebitch 2. It is on fire. She's got 48 hours left. Mike, thank you for dropping in the links in there too. If Daphne, put your link in private chat so that we can share that to the audience at least, and we'll bring that up next week so that
Varian also put links further up in the chat for your book, Meredith, Daphne's, and Cara's.
So let's go around the room. And actually, before we do that, Nita, did you have any comments about booth babes?
I don't have a problem as long as they're educated in the product they're trying to push. You've got 3 minutes from the time I walk up to a booth to sell me on something that I'm not familiar with. Mm-hmm. And after that, I walk. So,
yeah, fair. Okay, so let's go around the room, and I'm just going to pick people at random. So be prepared to tell us where to find you.
Oh, me again. Hi. Okay, so I am Lisa Melone with Melone Management. Again, I help independent creators with their crowdfunding needs, graphic support, marketing consulting, full build out and management of your crowdfunding campaigns. You can find me under Melone Management, Melone with an E, on Facebook, or under my personal Facebook page, Lisa Melone, Melone. And it's been a wonderful night. Thank you guys so much for having me here. I've had a blast.
All right, don't go anywhere. Let's see.
Oh, God. My name is Nita Lanning, and right now you can find me on Facebook or as a blogger on wildoneforever.com. Just Nita.
Short and sweet. Okay, here we go. Let's.
Oh, hi. I'm Trish. I like to buy stuff. So, like, Facebook time me or Mike, you know, and show us your links and Kickstarter, Indiegogo, whatever, you know, we'll give it our 3-minute time. And if you can entertain us, we'll probably back you. So.
All right, I'm Meredith Loughran. You guys can find me at linktree.com/MEREJ99. That is where you can find all of my links to my social media as well as my Kickstarter. Head over there and follow me everywhere. I tell everybody you can stalk me anywhere, just don't peek in my windows, okay? I've had some boundaries here.
Don't be creepy.
I'm Cara Nicole. You can find me everywhere as AZ Powergirl, like the letters AZ, like Arizona Powergirl. And I am on Facebook as AZ Powergirl and Cara Nicole. Friend me, find me, follow me. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at the AZ Powergirl. And I have my Kickstarter for Firebitch 2 going right now, last 48 hours. Jump on that while you can.
And Ms. Lola, you finish out the show because this is your show.
Yeah. I do want to say, Cara, I just sent you a friend request on Facebook. And Trish.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I am Lola, the Indie Princess, and you can find me on pretty much any social media. Just look up the Indie Princess and look for my beautiful face. But I also want to say, if you are bored, check out IndieVolt's Roku channel. It's free. All you need to have is a Roku or Roku TV. There's lots of stuff on there. Interviews, movies, all kinds of stuff. Go check it out. And the lovely radio station we've been talking about. You can find IndieVolt radio station on Google Play, on Streama, and look up IndieVolt Radio. You can also ask Alexa to play it, which mine just went off. And you can find IndieVolt Radio there. Or if you go to indievolt.com, we do have the player embedded into our website.
And I'm going to say, if you've got any questions or comments, go to, send your questions or comments to geekgasm@indievolt.com, and we will answer them on the air.
Yes, I am sad. No one has written in yet.
Oh, well, let me get on that.
I check it every day, and no one writes into me. I'm so sad. You guys are breaking my heart.
Well, they write into the regular one.
They write into the regular one for Geekgasm.
Oh, okay. So if you are paying attention, make sure that you send them to Geekgasm, to Ms. Lola directly at geekgasm@indievolt.com.
Don't make Lola cry. We'll fight you.
Varian said, send me all the dick pics.
Varian, my goodness. I did want to mention really quickly that we have the Independent Creator Awards happening for 2021. It is presented by Geek Insider, IndieVolt, Chuck's Shop Talk, and Comic Book Advocates Network. There are a lot of categories in there, from art to podcasting to writers, and definitely go check it out. That is the Independent Creator Awards. Go ahead, take a look at it on Facebook. You can do a search and you will see it there. IndieVolt Radio, I don't know, Varian, if you've got the final numbers before we head out. So while we are waiting on that, I want to thank everybody here for the panel. I thought this was great, not having the guys here.
And you guys brought me out of my shell. That is what to do.
And if you guys are at all interested, the ladies out there, if you're listening and you are interested in being a guest, you don't have to be necessarily in the comic book industry. You can be a super fan and supporter.
Message Meredith, Daphne, or message me at the Indie Princess on Facebook or IndieVolt on Facebook.
And our final numbers here at IndieVolt Radio is 51,212, and we appreciate every single one of you.
That
is amazing. Now, if you are listening, Indie Vault Radio, head over to Indie Vault on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Okay, we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that we can get super chats over there.
And
So
what I tell everybody is if we get 1,000 subscribers or more, I'm doing a trading card set.
Ooh, very nice.
And
And
every
on that,
subscriber will get one if they want it.
very cool. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna play the intro again for the outro, and let's pull down some of these banners here. And you know what? I think something fun would be to do is you guys strike a pose so we can take a screenshot, and then we'll get out of here. You ready? 1, 2, 3, pose. Okay, screenshots done. Thank you very much. You guys have a great evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.